Pasha. I'm a filmmaker and novelist. I'm one of the very first Muslims to succeed in Hollywood. I was born in Pakistan, Karachi, Pakistan. I moved to the United States when I was 3 years old. Grew up actually in Brooklyn, New York. I was not planning to go and become a journalist. I was actually planning to go to law school because I thought, what else do you do with a religion degree and writing skills? That's what everyone does. Go to law school. At least you can do something with that. And the university intervened. I actually didn't get into a single one of my law schools when I applied. I was like, here I'm working on Wall Street, hanging out with investment bankers and politicians, and I'm 21, 22 years old, and suddenly I'm interviewing pretty powerful people. Oh, I'm interviewing the head of Merrill Lynch. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I just interviewed, Shimon Peres. I interviewed Benazir Bhutto, and it was just suddenly I was in the center of very real journalism. At that point, that old programming that was in my mind that, okay, you got into a really good law school, and maybe it's time for you to grow up, and this writing thing is just a fantasy. So within 2 days of arriving in law school, I said, what am I doing here? I felt trapped. Up to that period, I'd had a very regimented sense of how things happen in life. You go to junior high school, you go to high school, you get into a good college, you go to law school, you become a lawyer, you make money, you get married. It's very straightforward, right? I'd always had a fantasy of going to Hollywood and becoming a filmmaker, but it was a fantasy. And being a Muslim in New York with no connections in the industry, it never occurred to me once that was a realistic possibility. I'm going further and further away from my talent, buying into all these degrees to make people happy and have social status of some kind, and I'm miserable. I'm beyond miserable. Just to pass the time, I started writing a teen horror movie. The agent at Number 6 emails me saying, yeah, I'd like to look at your script. And he said, this is actually a pretty good teen horror movie. You got some talent there. I'd like to represent you. I was like, really? Sure. And suddenly, within a few days, I'd made like $50,000 from screenwriting within 4 days. The universe makes it very easy for you at the beginning to sucker you in, to invest you into it, and then it start giving you the real challenges of growth, right? And so now that I've gotten these 2 script sales in 4 days for $50,000, gotten into film school, I'm going to be Steven Spielberg next week, right? 'Cause it's so easy, right? And then I arrived and discovered it wasn't that easy. And amazing, for the next 2 years after that, I just would scrape by on these little gigs that kept me going. As I'm literally getting ready to pack up and go home, I get a phone call from my agents who say, remember that script you wrote 4 years ago about terrorism? Well, there's this new show called Sleeper Cell that Showtime is developing, and they read that script, they really like it. I was like, that launched my career. Sleeper Cell went on for 2 seasons. I became a co-producer on the show. It went on to get several Golden Globe nominations, several Emmy nominations. I've worked for several shows. I've worked for Bionic Woman on NBC. I worked last year for Kings, which I was very proud of, which was a retelling of the biblical story of David. And now I'm working at Disney for a project I cannot reveal yet, but it's pretty top secret, and it will be very intriguing when it's announced. What I would say to everyone watching this is that at the end of the day, I really do believe every one of us is born with a purpose. Are you going to make this journey one where there's the hope of achieving your dreams, or are you going to make this one where you've already given up because you're going to end up at the same place? But are you going to have an interesting journey along the way? And the moments of victory, those moments of rope-a-dope where you get that one shot in and you win, they make this whole journey worthwhile.